Magic Makers. I'm Mabirella.
And I'm CJ Peterson. Welcome to Magic Making Mischief. Get your wands to the ready because we solemnly swear we're up to no good. And today we have special guests with us, Rick and Melissa from Kilgore Geekend, who we're going to be talking Kilgore Geekend in Kilgore, Texas. Hi.
Hi.
Before we start, Mombi, would you like to share how your weekend went?
Yes. Right now I'm still finishing up the Pop Century Power Show we went to last weekend, and so I've got stuff from that coming up still. So like the cosplay contest winner, I loved her outfit. That was Co-Play. If y'all don't know her, check her out. She's a cosplayer. And she had Princess Zelda, and it was all handmade. It was gorgeous.
Nice.
And then, of course, Easter, put a pause on that for Easter. So we had, our kids are older, so that was an interesting year this year. My daughter had to work, so she missed some of the stuff, but I got up super early. I actually joined a friend's live stream she had while I was out, because on Sunday mornings we do a food ministry actually, and she got to see some of that, so that was cool. Regina, she has 3 different channels, but anyway. She's awesome.
I put all of the links in the chat, including Kilgore Geekends. But for me, last weekend, of course, was Easter. We did have a little ducky scare. We lost 2 out of our 10 due to overheating and basically a heat stroke. But we were able to save the 3rd that was also critical. So that was a blessing. And then this weekend, we're heading to the Chautauqua Festival in Longview, Texas. So on Saturday from 10 to, I believe it's either 2 or 3 in the Longview Public Library. Come on down and check us out there. In the meantime, about 3 or 4 weeks later is it 6th and 7th, Rick and Melissa?
Yes.
7th of May, I will also be at Kilgore Geekend. We're going to take a few minutes and watch a few quick videos of it, and we'll kind of bop through them all. Here's your first one. Can you guys see it?
Mm-hmm.
I got my head out the sunroof. I'm blasting my favorite tunes. I only got one thing on my mind. You got me stuck on the thought of you. You're making me.
So it looks like fun. Here's another one to check out. I've got about 3 or 4 of these. So here's another one.
Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when we're part of a team. Everything is awesome when we're living our dream. Everything is better when we stick together. Side by side, you and I. Everything is awesome.
Okay, I got another one. Give me just a second. For those who are listening instead of watching, you can also go to YouTube and check them out later.
1, 2, 3. You don't gotta go to work. Gotta go to work. You don't gotta go to work. Let my body do the work.
Wazy music.
Nope.
Gotta love the abrupt TikTok stops.
I try. I mean, through 19 seconds, I do what I can do. On StreamYard, it's fun. Last one, make sure you grab your phone.
Unsurprisingly, Domer really likes that one.
I would totally hang out with a snake.
Snake.
Pretty cool.
Kind
Pretty
of
cool
a
little
little
thing.
They're a little creepy. I've always enjoyed coming to Kilgore Geekend. I think this will be my 3rd or 4th.
Something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
And y'all done this 10 years now, right?
Mhm.
It'll be our 10th one, yeah.
Here. And I know it's like an outdoor festival. It takes like downtown Kilgore is where it's all out. How did you guys swing that? Let's start with that question. That's unique. I don't normally go to Comic Cons where it's like literally in the middle of town.
Well, oh, you're looking at me.
You started this whole thing, so yeah.
Well, when we started it, or when I started it, they put us down on Commerce Street, just a little. We had about a block on Commerce Street, and just over time, it seemed it grew quicker than I expected it, and we needed more space. And I'd asked for permission to block some of the streets downtown, and they said okay, and it just kind of went from there. The city has been fantastic working with me. They've always been very helpful when they can be. And
when they can't, they're really good about trying to suggest alternatives and find something that'll work with us.
They've been fantastic. I can't say enough about the city of Kilgore and what they've done to help us, to help make this, a good event, and help it grow.
I love
That's
that
awesome to have that kind of support. Yeah, that's awesome to have that kind of support. Yeah.
I love that the city's behind it, and I also love that you actually have some indoor stuff and some outdoor stuff.
Yes.
So those of us who I quote and unquote say I'm allergic to the outside, that's a wonderful thing.
Well, I am too, and yet you'll still find me outside on the stage. So
Joe says hi. Hi, Joe. Stephen Sheets is here. Welcome, Stephen.
So I've actually never been to this one. So I definitely think that's unique that there's some outside and inside. What is kind of like sometimes there's a theme. Is this an overall fandom theme? Just kind of like, every geek's welcome? Or
Yeah,
have,
more or less.
More or less. We have done specific themes for different years, occasionally. But it's overall anything you can geek out about,
right.
That's cool.
This year we're really emphasizing that it's the 10th event. So it's Geekend 10. And we are using a logo that I had designed, a variant of the original logo a couple years ago for promotional purposes. Unfortunately, when I say a couple years ago, I mean 2020, the dark years. And I had designed a whole bunch of logo variants, like an alien and a spaceship and a dragon and a pirate and all these different things. And one of the ones I had done is the one that we're using this year, where we brought in the derricks and I gave it a sepia tone, made it all nostalgic-y and Kilgore. And it's really one of our more popular variants. We've actually had vendors that put it on their t-shirts that they wear to the event, stuff like that. And so we thought it was an appropriate one to use this year, with it being year 10 and we're celebrating being downtown. And as in regards to what you are talking about, as far as it being an unusual event with an outdoor component and indoor component, I usually describe Geekend, especially to anybody who's never heard of it, as it's like a Comic-Con and a street fair had a baby. That's Geekend, because we do have the Comic-Con stuff. We have authors, we have celebrities or expert guests, cosplayers, cosplay competition, things like that. But we bring in gardening clubs. We get local school groups to come and perform, that kind of thing. If it, like Rick said, if it's something you can geek out about, we'd like to kind of parade it on downtown.
And I try to put a focus on giving, especially young people, a place to do their thing, a place to show off their work, or to show off their talent. That's a big part of what Geekend is to give them a place to shine.
You're talking about t-shirts. I was looking at the swag y'all have for Kilgore Geekend right here, and I love some of these designs. You got the Harry Potter. You got. I like this one here. Oh, this purple one right there. It's got the dragon and the ballerina dancer. So it's like a mashup. Did you make these yourself?
I did the design these. Like I said, it was we were going to do a new type of, I was kind of going to go for like a pop art fandom promotion. And then the big C came around, and we ended up having to postpone the event that year because we couldn't do it in May, and we ended up doing it in September, and it was almost completely outdoors. And so I had worked for months to make all these different little variant logos, and then didn't get to use them the way that I had originally intended to. So we were like, why don't we give people the option to put them on things like t-shirts and cups and stickers and laptop bags and all the other different things that, that you can use on that
Way
side.
to go. It's nice whenever, number one, somebody likes your design. Number two, they're advertising for you everywhere they go with that
They
design.
do. The first one we actually sold, other than anything with the standard logo on it, was the vampire logo. And we were like, somebody bought it. But with that particular website, you don't get to see where it's shipped. You just get told here that someone bought it. Here's your monies. And which is great on one hand, because we don't have to do anything. I just upload things and then they sell or they don't. And but it turned out it was somebody we knew. And we didn't know until we saw him wearing it. Like he came up to us at a different event and was like, "Hey, how's it going, guys?" We're like, "Oh, there's the shirt."
Right.
And actually the vampire logo was how it got started. At the time, my daughter and her best friend were looking for something different. And so I was just kind of playing around. I was like, haha, let me do this thing. And I gave it fangs and made it look good. And everybody was like, oh man, that's really cool. Can you do a steampunk one? So I did a steampunk one. And so then I was like, we could do that. We could. And so I made a bunch of them, and then we didn't. So they've been kind of hanging out. A couple of years ago, we used the alien one. That was when we brought in an actual speaker who talked about Texas UFOs. And so since we were kind of focusing on some paranormally kind of stuff that year, because we also had our after hours, that's when we brought in the ghost hunting teams and things like that. So we went for a kind of a paranormal look. And so we're just kind of bringing forth the logos when they fit.
That's awesome. So does this year's more your decade theme then right now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We're doing a lot of classic throwbacks. If you notice for our performer and guest announcement graphics, I've dropped it into a little sepia gray scale toned graphic, and we have a couple of golden, I think they're golden age, maybe early silver age comic book characters. That's what I thought, but the Black Cat and American Crusader. And so I took some of their public use images and sepiaed them. Okay, is that a word? Sepiaed. I made them sepia and dropped them in as well, just because it's fun. And last year we actually used Miss Mask and the Silver Bolt as part of our promo stuff. So I've been enjoying kind of learning, and because I can't just pull a picture and use it, I'm going to have to go Google all the things and read all the history and everything else about it. And by the time I've read 50 comic books, then I'm ready to use the image. So, so I've actually been kind of enjoying that. I'm actually thinking about doing Black Cat and American Crusader logo t-shirts for the people to purchase if they'd like.
Well,
because I had so much fun with it.
I put the link in the comments, so if people want one, they can look it up and find it there as well.
Nice.
So you have multiple vendors, but you also have like little shows in between it as well, correct?
Yes, we will have performances of all different varieties. We will have musicians and singers. My daughter Rosalind will sing. We have a new singer talent coming to sing for her very first non-theater performance. Her name is Piper Pruitt. She's actually a middle schooler that attends the same school as my daughter Rosalind, and she's got a ridiculously phenomenal voice, just like her mother Amy, who will also be a part of Geekend and has been for a couple of years. We have Richard Ramsey. I just announced him this morning, actually, who's another local talent. He's a singer and an author, so he will actually be there selling his Firewalker series books as well. We have an aerial artist who will be swinging from the silk things. I don't know. I don't do it because
I was called that Russian. I don't know. I thought that came from Russia for some reason.
Yeah. But the aerial silks is what they're called, and so she's one of those kind of acrobat dancy things in the sky that I'm not going to do because feet on the ground. But she's beautiful. She's graceful. She's so good at it. She's actually very interesting. Her name is Regina Money, and she was a florist, sang in the church choir, and then in her 50s or so, she suddenly said, I'm going to start doing beauty pageants. And so she did. And she's a pageant queen. She's won several titles, one of them being the 2019, I believe it is. No, you're good. You're good. He's got to step away for a minute. So y'all are stuck with me. Sorry. But she's this 2019 Mrs. Senior Texas queen, and she just decided at like 62 or 63, I think I'm going to start doing aerial silks, and so she did, and now she's winning competitions doing it. So we're pretty excited. We'll have belly dancers extraordinaire, lots of belly dancers. We always have belly dancers. They're very popular. Everybody loves them around here. We have Lauren Rax, who is probably one of our fan favorite performers that ever happened in the entire 10 years of Geekend. And then we have a couple other troops coming. Ellie's Belly Dance and Wild Rose Tribal will also be performing. Gosh, I'm trying to think. I know we're going to have lots of other things, but we'll have lots of performances. We're going to have some activities and games and things that people can do, such as Harry Potter trivia, Pokemon trivia, which will be our first one this year, Pokemon trivia. We will have the Naruto Run Speed Dash, which was kind of a joke.
Yeah.
That has ended up becoming something very popular. You know, for those, of course, who don't know, Naruto is where that's an anime where the people, they run really, really fast with their arms straight out behind them. It was made popular when they did the storming of Area 51. That's where a lot of people have seen it if they weren't familiar with the anime already. And
so funny. They're like, oh no, we can't catch him now. He's not running us. He's not turning.
And so so a couple years ago, just kind of as a joke, I said, why don't we do a race where they have to run like that? And we were like, sure, we'll do it. And we did a kids one and an adults one. And now it's hugely popular and we have to do it every year, which we didn't see coming.
Yeah.
Although I suppose we should have.
Yeah, probably.
It's usually the most silly ideas that tend to take off. It's like, no, I did this as a joke. And they're like, no, it's great. Keep going.
I mean, you'd be amazed at how many things about Geekend started as a joke.
Mhm.
A joke that just didn't seem to be important, but then it was.
Yeah.
You did a
And
group of geeky people, and they come up with an idea, and the next thing you know,
yeah, there it is. We actually, and I apologize if the lights flicker. We're at Rick's store, and they're having some electrical work done.
Oh no.
That was unexpected. Sorry.
I'll be there. What other artists and vendors will also be there?
Well, you saw everything that was announced in there. We'll have a Creative Spawns, R&R Creations, Susan Clay's, Charlie's Snowballs will be there because there's no event that happens in Kilgore without Charlie's.
I was going to ask if he's going to be there because his snowballs are awesome.
Yeah, and he actually shaves his own ice, so it's a special texture that he does.
Yeah, awesome.
And he mixes his own flavors as well. So
this year we'll be doing a special kind of almost after hours show and screening.
Yes, we're going to be doing a movie screening after hours.
On Saturday after the event ends, we'll be screening one really short movie and one more full length movie down at the Texan.
are these independent films?
The movies will be let me see if I can get the title right because his movie titles are always super long. On the Brick Streets of Shreveport by Herbert Midgley. If you are not familiar with Herbert Midgley, just go Google the internet legend, and I assure you that's exactly what you're going to find is Herbert Midgley. He has spent many, many years cultivating that persona. And he does a little bit of everything. He's a filmmaker, he's a singer, he's a composer, he's an actor, he's a writer, he's a professor at Stephen F. Austin, where he teaches, among other things, the history of rock and roll. He has started doing short films. We will then have a Q&A panel with him, and the owners and people behind Toxic Films / Royal Class Video. Then we'll be doing a feature horror showing of one of their movies. And forgive me, the working title is Rocksaw, which is named after the location, but I cannot just pull the name off the top of my head right now. But
there again, it's a way to showcase local talent.
People doing their
Local people doing their
yes.
thing. Yeah.
And now the first film will be very family friendly. The second one, not so much, which is why we're doing it after hours, because Geekend is in general a family friendly event. We don't bring in things that kids can't do. And if we do them later at night with bottom warning labels.
That's good. I couldn't find on your website or I found all your stuff on your social media, but I couldn't find where you buy tickets. Can you buy tickets before, or do you have to buy them there?
Actually, this year we're not
doing tickets.
We're not doing tickets.
We didn't do it last year, and we didn't do it. We've had some really nice, generous sponsors that have made it unnecessary to do. Last year we had Swepco, among other great sponsors. This year we have Makoto sushi and ramen bar, a ramen and sushi bar in Tyler, and Chick-fil-A here in Kilgore.
Oh wow!
Who have made really, really wonderful donations and sponsorships to make
Please
it
don't
so
turn the light off.
that we don't have to charge this year. So you'll get to do whatever you want to do, and it won't cost a thing.
That is awesome. Speaking of ramen, y'all are having a ramen cook-off contest this year.
Yes. Talking about crazy ideas that started as a joke. A couple years ago, we did a Pie Wars, kind of play off the Food Wars anime, although considerably more family friendly. But it was a pie eating contest where we had little, small, pies like this. Then the first one to eat 5 of them, or however many it was we gave them, I can't remember now, won. And then at our holiday event this past December, we did Pie Wars Holiday Baking Edition, where we literally had a pie contest where people brought in pies, and we had a panel of judges that ate the pies. 2 of them were us, and we judged the pies. And so Rick has been talking about for a couple years, thinking, wouldn't it be fun if we did a ramen cook-off? And
I was thinking like something, I didn't immediately think ramen.
Yeah.
But just wanted to do some kind of a cook-off, like the chili cook-off or something like that.
Right.
And something similar. And it was one of our kids, not our kids, but one of the kids that comes in here,
right,
suggested, well, I like ramen.
Let's do
good.
ramen, yeah.
And that's kind of interesting.
It's especially interesting since you don't even like ramen.
Yeah, I don't even like ramen.
You're not one of the judges, then, are you? Because that would be
the difference between like Walmart brand ramen and like the fancier stuff. I saw this movie called Ramen Girl, and it was all about her learning the art of making ramen. So apparently, there's like way more into it than what I.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Challenge to take a cheap pack of ramen and do something amazing with it.
Right, and so that's kind of how Ramen Wars was born. So now we have Pie Wars for the holidays and Ramen Wars for the spring. We will actually have the Maritime packets here at Geektopia that people will come and pick up, and that's what they have to start with. We're providing the packets so that we know that's what they're starting with, and then they can do whatever they want to with it. And we do have a panel of judges. Neither of us will be judges. He doesn't like ramen, and I have a seafood allergy, so I can't eat. So we just decided it was better not to. Our judges will actually be a young man by the name of Taylor Wood, who will be representing Geektopia. He loves ramen and doesn't have food allergies. We also have Shara Sullivan from the Dream Willow, which is a business here local in Kilgore, and Charlie from Charlie Snowballs. And we will have Justin Wyndham, who actually works for the city of Kilgore, and he is the permit guy that gave us the permission to do this little event and the Pie Wars as well. So we were like, hey, you think it's a good enough idea? You want to judge? And he said, I really do. And so here we are. And then our final judge will be actually a representative, either the owner or the head chef. He said they're going to fight it out From Makoto Ramen and Sushi Bar. So who
Nice.
better to judge than the owner and or cook from a ramen company or ramen restaurant? So um, basically, there's a form that you'll fill out online. I'm actually going to put this announcement out this afternoon.
But you
And
heard it here first.
you come and pick up the ramen here, or if for some reason like there's a distance issue, like say CJ, if you wanted to do it, we could make other arrangements since it's not easy to just roll by the store and pick up a packet. But the idea is you have to start with that cheap packet like that, a Marichan, Nissan, something like that, and then just go with it. You get to do whatever you want to with it. You just have to tell us, say, hey, what's in this? Although I did drill each one of our judges and make sure that no one's going to puff up and die from
Well, that's a
nuts
good
or
thing.
fish or anything of the sort.
That's always a good thing. When you
Right.
Ah.
Yeah, we don't want to puff up and die.
Judges dying is definitely not a good thing for
I think
anybody.
that's a lose, right? That's definitely a lose if the judge dies.
Yeah, no, that's not a good thing. We have a few minutes left. What panels are you going to have this year?
Well, our UFO expert, Daniel Allen Jones, is going to be back. He's going to talk about probably a similar topic to what he did before, which was UFOs in Texas. We have, who else is sponsored for a panel? We'll have several games. We're going to have Star Trek trivia with a name that you'll recognize, Eddie Hancock, and my husband, Aaron. We will have, we will always have a cosplay panel. I'm hoping that some of the people I know who write books would like to do an author panel. And
Look here, I would definitely.
right. We will also have a cosplay contest for kids, adults, and pets this year.
Oh, nice.
Oh, a plus of having an outdoor one.
Yeah.
But and I've been speaking with several different people as far as panels go. In fact, our movie screening was gonna be a panel, but then it was like, oh well, no, let's do the bigger thing. And because at the Texan Theater during Geekend, we won't be in there, but the real East Texas Film Festival will be. They're going to be celebrating 6 de Mayo. With free adult beverages. We will have they'll have our local taco restaurant, Edgar's Big Taco #2. We'll be doing tacos, and we're all going to be down here together, hanging out and celebrating.
Where are they going to be?
They're going to be at the Texan Theater.
Am I in the Texan Theater?
No, we will not be in the Texan this year because they will be.
Okay, gotcha. The panels are going to be where?
A little bit this year.
They'll be in the one of the store buildings downtown here on Main Street.
Okay, cool.
We're kind of partnering with them this year because their event just happens to be on the same day, and they'll be on a different end of the street, but we're kind of joining together to kind of
the plan is that between us all, we're actually going to have kind of a solid block of Kilgore Street, Main Street, Rush Street, and we won't be blocking off South Street, but with the old post office doing their thing, that we'll be in kind of a square downtown. We're just going to kind of take over, put up some barricades, and invite everybody to come hang out and do stuff with us.
That sounds awesome.
I know our time's about up, but there's 2 other ones I wanted to just mention real quick that I thought were cool. If you can see these, nice. Oh, nice. So this was your stream, and I'm not getting it past the lights. Okay.
Yeah, that one I can pull up.
Okay, and he's going to have his solar telescope there, and that was really awesome.
Yes, we actually do. That's let's see if I can say his name correctly because I'm really sorry, Liam, if I mess this up. Liam Pybon will be with a local astronomy group. I believe it's called the East Texas Astronomy Association. And he will have a solar telescope. He was here last year, and it was a lot of fun, really cool. So you can actually look at the surface of the sun and not go blind. Not going blind is important too.
That is awesome. And then the other one I was going to mention was Scott Miles, and I noticed him because wrong way. Said he worked on Ninjago, and my son loved that show.
He did. Scott is actually a local guy. He grew up here in Kilgore. I've known Scott since we were like 11 and 12 years old. And
this is the solar telescope.
That's Liam in the solar telescope. But Scott, we've been friends a long time, and we went to school together. We went to college together. I introduced him to his wife, and then he went out and got himself known for being a screenwriter. And he has written for Elizabeth Banks, her production company, with the name of which escapes me right now. But he did write for Ninjago on Netflix. He is currently has a series on Netflix called The Inside Job, which is absolutely not at all family friendly, but very, very funny if you like Rick and Morty, The Simpsons, American Dad, that kind of thing. It's right in that Seth MacFarlane, Matt Groening type humor. But he's very excited to talk about Ninjago. And so he will be doing a panel specifically on Ninjago where people can ask questions about it and talk about it. And he's going to be there to facilitate it. We'll also have a recording of the Four Beards at the Movies movie podcast, which is on Astronet Radio. This is one of the Four Beards right here. And so they will actually be doing a movie. Boy, I hope I get this one right too. Moonrise Kingdom, I think is the name of it. It was actually at the request of one of our performers, Chris Ferguson, who occasionally sits in with the Four Beards on their podcast. And he said, "Hey, can we do a movie that I like?" And I said, "Yeah, you want to do it at Geekend?" And he went, "Sure." So he's going to be performing, and then he and the Four Beards will be doing a recording where people can come in and, you know, make comments and yell out, "Hi, Mom," while they're doing their thing so they can be on air. And they're going to talk about Moonrise Kingdom. So
very cool. Well, unfortunately, we are out of time, which stinks because I love talking to you all. For anybody who needs any more information, you can feel free to look them up on Facebook under Kilgore Geekend.
Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok is all the same. Kilgore Geekend.
Perfect. Next week, we're going to be doing a Chautauqua Festival review, the one at the Longview Library I'm going to today, as well as the Pop Culture Power Show review. Will be next week at 11 o'clock. In the meantime, get your wands to the ready, because
we solemnly swear. That'll work. We solemnly swear up to no good.
We've already done that, but now we have to be mischief.
Oh, sorry.